I'm Adam Calaway. I'm at Cattle Chat Corner at NCBA 2014 in Nashville, Tennessee, and I have the pleasure of being joined by Frank and Sims Price. And you have won a special award here at NCBA. I'd like you to talk just a little bit about what that award is.
It's the Environmental Stewardship Award that NCBA and NRCS and I believe the U.S. Fish and Wildlife all sponsor together. And we've been fortunate enough to win that award and are very proud and humbled that we've at that level.
Well, this is a national award. You went through a process to get here. Tell me a little bit about the process and what the award is actually for.
We were nominated amongst our region. We were Region 4 winners. Started out in Texas and the surrounding areas. Then we went to Denver, got to meet the other regional winners. Amazing group of people all put together. How the selection committee selected a winner, I don't know. It was any one of the others were equally or deserving of the award. We got the award. We were announced last night. This award is truly an honor. It shows the hard work that my dad and his dad and our future generations before. I'll be a 5th generation. He's the 4th generation. God willing, my son will be the 6th generation. But all this just shows the hard work which they have put forward and that I get to carry on.
It's an environmental stewardship award, and so this award really focuses in on you guys doing things right and the right way. Tell me a little bit about what's happening on your operation that sort of brought you to this national award.
We got recognition due to our hard work and our perseverance that's no different than anybody else in our area. Everybody around is doing the same thing, and everybody's always constantly having to stay aware of their land and to keep the land cultivated, to produce the most grass, and to keep the land healthy. And by doing so, it creates a healthier environment for everybody, not just us as agricultural producers so that we can raise more beef. It's also helps for a healthier environment for the people that live in the cities, for water runoff, and to keep clean air and everything else. It's because of that people like us are allowed to be recognized, but there's hundreds and thousands of other farmers and ranchers out there that are doing the same things, that are working and paying attention to their land and taking care of it.
What about, Frank, on the operation there? What are some of the special things that you've incorporated to make sure that you are aware of being a good steward?
We're mainly a cow-calf, still run a few sheep, and what's really brought us to the point where we can achieve profitability, and that is a huge thing for our operation. It must be profitable. When we, through our grazing management programs, reached the point where we were not feeding our mature cow herd at all through the winter, no hay, that moved us forward dramatically in being a profitable operation. And
so what you're saying is that because you were able to get them to graze year-round, that is both the stewardship element and it's also a profitability element.
Oh, sure. When you don't feed, it's a huge thing in a ranching operation. And in our annual budget that we prepare, it kind of makes you feel good when you can show that even in dry times, we can still come out with in the positive column.
Let's talk about animal welfare. It's one of the topics that are most important to our farmers and ranchers. They really focus on being good stewards of not just the land but of their animals. What do you do on the operation there to ensure good animal welfare?
We try to keep everything as low stress as possible, from calving, breeding, marking the calves, weaning the calves, to taking the calves to town. We start by allowing the calves to calf out in that pasture on their own. They're not having to be handled by us to be pulled. We use low birth weight bulls when we can. Older cows, we can use a little bit bigger bull. When we go into marking, we bring the cows in. We move them in a rotational grazing program. They're aware of us when we pull in horseback with our trailers. They see the trailers. They know we're fixing to move them. They're excited to move into the next pastures. They're not intimidated by us. They're not afraid of us. They look at us and think, all right, we're fixing to go to some fresh grass. We move them. We allow that we slip them into the pens to work them. We keep everything, no hands up, everything calm, keep the cattle calm, let them work themselves. By allowing them to work themselves, they work smoother, they're happier, there's less stress on them, less stress on the calves. When we wean our calves, we fence line wean them, meaning we keep the cows on one side and the calves on another side of the fence. That way that calf can still sit there and rub noses with mama, and the calf is at that time and age is happy. That's all he needs. Leave them there for about a week. You come back after the end of that week, the calves are off in the pasture grazing and the cows are off on their side of the pasture grazing, and everybody's happy.
Let's talk a little bit about sustainability, Frank. You're a fourth generation. Sims here is the fifth generation. Why is sustainability so important to you as a producer?
Well, without sustainability, we go broke and we no longer operate the ranch. And through these programs that Sims has been talking about and the handling of those cattle and in our grazing programs, we can achieve a profit. And the neat thing is, when we get to the point where we can consistently make a profit on that operation through our care for the land, the livestock, it enhances our wildlife situation because of the conditions of the pastures. And it's like Sim said, it's good for everybody, and we get to make a profit out of it. Pretty sweet deal.
It's a pretty good deal. Tell me a little bit about the rotational grazing. If you're a consumer that watches this, what is rotational grazing and why is it good for the land?
Okay, we use what we call traditional pastures. They may be 320 acres, they may be 3 sections in size. We move our cattle from pasture to pasture. Having a proper water for those pastures is a challenge when you congregate that many cattle together. But once we get there, it takes us from 180 to 250 days to make a complete circle. Thus, say you've got 10 pastures, at any given moment, 9 pastures are being rested and there's no livestock in there, so when it does come a little bit of moisture, we can utilize it. That grass gets a chance to grow. It's got good, strong root systems. And whereas in traditional continuous grazing, it didn't have that opportunity to grow and get the roots to go down deeper. So it really works well for us. There's a lot of other more intensive grazing programs that work very well for a lot of folks. We're not structured to handle that intensity, and what we have, we're very comfortable with and satisfied with. I'm not going to say that is the best way, but it's the way that works for us.
Some of the other things that that we see over and over, consumers are concerned about sustainability and what that land means. What do you think the consumer's view of sustainability is?
I think that the consumers view sustainability as whether or not we can produce beef for them to eat. I feel that maybe they not see it that by sustainability we mean taking care of the land so that it continue to work for us and for them. I feel that programs like this allow the public to be educated, to know that sustainability is different for us than what's for them. Sustainability for us is taking care of the land and keeping it to where it takes care of us. We take care of it, it'll take care of us, it'll take care of them, it'll continue to feed our nation and our world.
You are the future of the industry and of the family operation. What do you look as the biggest challenges that you're going to face as you take the reins of the operation?
Biggest challenges, again, will always be Mother Nature working with you. But through the programs my dad's came up with, and hopefully I've learned how to deal with Mother Nature and to work through the hard times, the droughts, the rain, the fires. Other hard parts is going to be keeping the public informed, to know that we're out there to do them good, that with cattle producers and all agricultural producers out there on the land, that land is able to be healthier for them and for everybody else than if it was left alone. I feel that a lot of the public thinks that the land needs to be left alone and that's the way it used to be, so we don't need to be on there, and that's not true. It needs the hoof action on the ground to break the turf up, to allow grass to grow, to allow the forage to be eaten. That way it restores, that way the fecal matter can go onto the soil and create healthy soils. And I think that keeping the public educated to know that we're out there keeping the land healthy and trying to restore it is going to be a key factor.
Frank, if you had an opportunity to tell consumers one thing that they really got to hear you on, what would you tell them?
That our care for the land is benefit to everyone. As Sims just stated, you go back to the days when man wasn't here, we had all of those wildlife species, the buffalo, the elk, deer, beaver, whatever else was here, and man came in and replaced them to a certain extent, and we and producers all over the nation are doing the best they can to go back to similar conditions they were. We'll never get back to where we were because there's people here. But through our tender loving care of the land, we can help create an ecosystem that's of benefit to everyone, including those people in the city that are looking for a good steak to eat.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations on the award. Thank you for being good stewards of our land, and thank you for stopping by Cattle Chat Corner.
Thank you.